Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, we are here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So welcome back to Reality TV Podcast and Clips. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's get into it on 3, 2, 1.
And we are jumping straight into New York today.
Because the newly announced cast for season 16 is officially out and cameras are already rolling.
Right, and if you've been tracking the recent reports, you already know the massive headline here.
Carole Radziwill is officially returning.
But there is a pretty significant catch.
Yeah, she is stepping back into a friend of role. She is not holding a full-time apple.
Which is a huge adjustment. I mean, you consider she was basically the intellectual anchor of that show for 5 straight seasons.
Exactly.
Going from being the main narrator to just a supporting character, that requires a completely different kind of on-camera survival strategy.
And she's walking into an entirely new ecosystem.
Right, the current group.
Yeah, the returning full-time cast members are Saida Silva, Aaron Leachy, and Jessel Tank. But production is throwing 3 brand new faces into the mix as well.
It is quite the lineup.
It really is. We have Daisy Toya, who is actually Martha Stewart's makeup artist. Then there's Haley Glassman. You might remember her from her very public history as John Gosselin's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Right. And finally, Erica Hammond, a celebrity trainer who is married to the billionaire founder of Built, Ankur Jain. That is a wildly eclectic group of women for Caroles to navigate.
What's fascinating here is the deliberate collision of different reality television eras. You have a legacy cast member like Carole, who traditionally grounded the franchise, suddenly dropped into a blender with a totally fresh, highly varied group. But the real strategy reveals itself when you look at who is running the ship now.
Right. Bravo brought in Lori Gordon as the new showrunner.
And her last job, running the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Wait, Salt Lake City? That franchise is basically known for operating at an 11 out of 10 on the theatrical drama scale. So are they trying to force that high camp energy onto the New York cast?
That seems to be exactly the play here. Taking a showrunner known for engineering completely unpredictable, high-stakes television and tasking her with blending old-school NYC personalities with these new faces, it signals a very clear mandate. They want maximum friction right out of the gate.
Well, the viewers are already split on whether this will actually work.
Not surprising.
If you look at what fans are saying online, some think Carole might just be a bit too reserved to keep up with the kind of storylines a Salt Lake City-style showrunner is going to demand.
That's a fair point.
But then there is a much heavier conversation happening regarding Carole's off-camera life. Some fans are bringing up past photographs of Carole with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right, we need to address that.
We do, and we have to be incredibly clear here. Carole has consistently and firmly denied having any inappropriate associations whatsoever. However, we are just impartially reporting on the fan response, and a very vocal segment of the audience is citing these rumors as their main reason for being unhappy with her return.
It just shows how the way you consume reality television has completely changed. You aren't just tuning in for the polished, edited hour on your screen anymore.
Not at all.
As a viewer, you are constantly weighing real-world allegations, social media footprints, and these off-camera controversies before deciding if you are going to invest in a cast member's storyline.
Okay, let's unpack this next topic because it takes us right into the extreme toll that off-camera life can take on these families.
This one is heavy.
It is. We have to talk about Lisa Rinna's new book. You better believe I'm going to talk about it. In it, she details a deeply harrowing medical nightmare involving her daughter Delilah's childhood battle with PANDAS,
which stands for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorders Associated with Streptococcal Infections.
Right, and this started when Delilah was just 11 years old.
For those who might not be familiar with it, PANDAS is an incredibly rare and terrifying condition. Basically, a routine strep infection tricks the immune system into attacking the brain.
Wow.
Yeah, and it triggers sudden, severe psychological and neurological symptoms.
And the symptoms Rinna described are hard to even read about. She detailed Delilah developing severe OCD, physical tics, and these expansive panic attacks where she would literally pound on the windows of their house trying to escape.
That is just heartbreaking.
Rinna even compared these meltdowns to her daughter being possessed by the devil. During the worst of it, she heavily relied on her father, Harry Hamlin, for comfort.
Yeah, she didn't want Lisa at all.
Exactly. Rinna shared that Harry would sit outside Delilah's classroom for 4 hours at a time just so she would agree to attend school. She specifically needed him.
You really have to imagine the emotional shockwaves it sends through a household.
Completely.
When one child requires that level of round-the-clock, crisis-level care, the entire family structure essentially collapses to support them.
And it did collapse. The collateral damage fell squarely on their other daughter, Amelia. Rinna shared that for 9 years, Amelia slept in the same bed as the family's nanny or housekeeper just to escape the chaotic environment of her own home.
9 years.
Yes. But what really caught the audience's attention was an admission Rinna made on a recent podcast appearance. She revealed that she would resort to bribing both of her daughters with gifts just to get them to film for 15 or 20 minutes for the reality show.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it exposes the surreal pressure of maintaining a curated television persona. On one hand, you are living through a devastating medical crisis that is fracturing your household. But on the other hand, your paycheck relies on projecting this glamorous, dramatic lifestyle to millions of people.
It's such a bizarre dichotomy.
It is. It's hard to wrap your head around living in a state of absolute terror off camera, but then turning around and bribing your anxious kids to perform a polished version of your family life for the cameras.
And as you can imagine, the fans did not hold back. While people definitely have sympathy for the medical condition itself, the audience is highly critical of Rinna's choices as a parent.
Understandably so.
They are specifically asking how you can justify bribing a child who is actively experiencing extreme anxiety to perform for television.
It forces you, as the viewer, to confront the human cost of the entertainment you are demanding.
Speaking of family dynamics and the healing process, we actually have an update from Kenya Moore that is really beautiful.
It's a nice change of pace.
It really is. Kenya recently traveled to Detroit for her grandmother's 95th birthday. And during this trip, Kenya's 7-year-old daughter, Brooklyn, officially met Kenya's estranged mother, Patricia, for the very first time.
Knowing Kenya's incredibly painful and public history of estrangement from her mother, that is a massive, vulnerable step to take.
Kenya spoke to her followers about prioritizing forgiveness. She admitted that she made a conscious choice to let the anger go because she wanted peace of mind. She wanted Brooklyn to make her own decisions about her grandmother, and Brooklyn absolutely loved the meeting. She even asked when she could see her again.
This raises an important question about how we handle generational trauma.
How so?
Well, what you're watching here is a mother actively choosing to break a cycle. Kenya is taking her own painful history, a history that has defined her storyline for years, and setting it aside so her daughter's view of family isn't poisoned by the past. That takes a staggering amount of emotional maturity.
The fans were largely thrilled for her. People were incredibly supportive of this positive step. Now, you do still have a few longtime viewers who remain critical of Kenya's overall character based on the show, but the overwhelming sentiment was just pure support for her and Brooklyn.
That's great to hear.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because we need to talk about relationship survival tactics in the Bravo universe. Let's look at the Craig Conover effect.
Oh, this is a fascinating web.
First, we have Paige DeSorbo, who is currently dating Joe D'Amelio. She recently spoke on a podcast and dropped some very unfiltered opinions on relationships.
Starting with her ex.
Right, a crazy ex who she claims made her go to therapy. Her takeaway from that: she explicitly stated that she views pre-marriage couples counseling as a major red flag.
That is certainly an unconventional take on relationship maintenance.
It gets wilder. Paige admitted she actually requires jealousy to keep a relationship going.
Wait, she needs jealousy?
Yes. She said she needs to have a door-slamming fight every 3 months just to keep things from getting boring. She also shared her strategy for dealing with exes. She prefers completely blocking them instead of publicly exposing them with receipts.
She is basically admitting that she needs a combative philosophy to keep the spark alive.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly to Sally Carson. Sally is doubling down on her claims that Craig is highly calculated.
She's been very vocal about this.
Very. Sally alleges that Craig operates on a very specific camera-ready schedule. She claims he only reaches out and checks in right before filming starts or right before a reunion happens, just to patch things up for the cameras.
Wow.
She did note they spent late nights together in a hot tub, but she firmly denied he explicitly led her on romantically.
It's a fascinating contrast. You have Paige loudly detailing her combative relationship philosophy. And then you have Sally accusing Craig of doing something similar, but in a covert way.
Right.
The recurring theme here is how deeply these reality stars strategically manage off-camera relationships solely to ensure their on-camera survival.
And the audience is completely divided. Some fans think Paige's stance on therapy is incredibly toxic. But then, on the other hand, you have viewers arguing that Sally is just as calculated as she claims Craig is.
It is a constant game of chess.
Let's shift gears and look at the financial reality beyond the lifestyle these shows promise. We need to talk about Pinky Cole.
The slutty vegan founder.
Yes, the newcomer to the Atlanta franchise. Recent financial disclosures reveal that Pinky has officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
And the numbers are huge.
Massive. She owes $1.2 million to the U.S. Small Business Administration, plus another $192,000 to the Georgia Department of Revenue.
Bankruptcy filings like this are always so revealing.
The disclosures show Pinky has about $3.7 million in assets, mostly in real estate, but her listed monthly expenses are $41,700.
Which heavily outweighs her income.
Exactly. Her monthly income is listed at just $14,583. But what is truly wild for you as a viewer is seeing how this contradicts her on-screen behavior.
Right, the trailer footage.
In the trailer, Pinky is seen feuding with Phaedra Parks and Angela Oakley. During the fight, Pinky actually shades Angela about foreclosed houses, and Angela immediately fires back, calling Pinky Mr. Clean.
The staggering irony here is just classic reality TV.
It really is.
You have cast members throwing shade at each other over financial woes like foreclosures, while simultaneously navigating massive, millions of dollars deep bankruptcy filings themselves. It exposes the fragile facade of the ultra-wealthy persona.
Let's bring this back to Beverly Hills and talk about Sutton Stracke.
Yes.
Sutton recently opened up about her ex-husband, Christian, dating her former friend. And this isn't just an acquaintance. This is a woman whose family used to vacation with Sutton's family.
That goes far beyond an ex just moving on.
It does. Sutton revealed that her son, James, actually broke the news to her in confidence. James was so deeply uncomfortable with the new girlfriend that he opted out of a Christmas trip to Venice with his dad.
That's incredibly sad for him.
But through all of this, Sutton claims she is entirely unbothered. She literally shrugged it off, saying men are lazy and they just go where it's closest. She never even confronted the woman.
Which her castmates do not believe.
Not for a second. Jennifer Tilly and Kathy Hilton strongly suspect that Sutton and Christian still love each other.
It is so telling how her castmates misinterpret her reaction. Let's dissect her stoicism here.
Okay.
Sutton is making a very clear distinction between missing her ex-husband and mourning the loss of the intact family unit.
Right.
When your own child is skipping holiday trips because the dynamic is too painful, you are mourning that fractured family, not the man himself. It's a nuanced emotional state that her castmates seem to completely misunderstand.
It seems like the fans understand it much better than the cast does. The audience is largely applauding Sutton for acting like a lady in a terrible situation.
She handled it with a lot of grace.
She did. Some fans also pointed out that Christian's extreme financial generosity during the divorce might have actually been fueled by his own guilt over this exact situation.
That makes a lot of sense.
For our final story, we are looking at compassion in the OC. Gina Kirschenheiter recently came to the defense of Kelly Osbourne.
Following the death of her father, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes. Kelly made an appearance at a British Music Awards show shortly after his passing. Her dramatically thin appearance led to immense online body shaming and intense speculation about weight loss drugs.
The internet can be relentless.
Kelly released a statement calling the public reaction a special kind of cruelty, noting that she is going through the hardest time in her life. This prompted Gina to post a video defending her.
And Gina did not hold back.
She told the critics not to talk schmute about someone who is clearly in pain. Gina drew parallels to her own painful public divorce and DUI, stating that society punishes people for physically looking like they are in a crisis.
So what does this all mean? We are looking at a really difficult tension point here.
Oh, so?
On one hand, you have the public's genuine concern for a celebrity's physical health.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, you see the absolute lack of grace a society affords individuals who are navigating profound grief.
That's a great point.
If your physical form reflects the chaos of your internal trauma, the public instinct is to criticize rather than offer comfort.
And the comment section perfectly reflects this divide. Some fans are echoing Gina's call for compassion, arguing a grieving daughter deserves grace. But others are arguing that Kelly's near-skeletal appearance requires honest concern rather than just looking the other way.
It's a heavy debate, and it leaves you with a final thread to pull on.
Let's hear it.
We've looked at Lisa Rinna's family medical nightmare, Pinky Cole's secret financial collapse, and Kelly Osbourne's very visible grief today. Reality TV demands that these stars trade their privacy for a platform. But you have to ask yourself, At what point does our appetite for entertainment strip away our basic human empathy for people in actual crisis?
That is definitely something to think about the next time you find yourself scrolling online. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We love unpacking these sources with you, and we will be back soon to break down the next big update. Take care.